Hi, my name is Olamide, and this is my CICD project. So in this project, I'm using three microservices. I'm using the inventory, order, and supply microservice. These are designed using the Spring Boot, and each microservice performs a specific functionality which communicates with each other using Fang client, which is enabling RESTful communication between them. So this is my inventory microservice. This microservice handles inventory related operations, so providing endpoints to retrieve inventory items by ID, which I have stored all my variables here using the product ID, the product name, and the quantity. So using these IDs, they can be found. It employs a RESTful API structure, and its functionalities are encapsulated within the inventory controller, which is seen here, and the inventory service classes. This microservice also communicates with others through the Fang client and the inventory service client, enabling seamless interactions with other services such as the order and the supplier service. So over here, this is my order microservice. The order microservice is responsible for managing orders within the system. So it can receive information from the inventory microservice, and then it can send over data from there and also from the supplier microservice as well. So it includes the functionality to create orders and interact with the order service client to communicate with other services. The controller and the order service classes orchestrate the creation of the orders and the interaction with other microservices as well. And lastly, this is the supply microservice. This microservice focuses on the supplier related functionalities. It provides an endpoint to retrieve supplier details by the ID, which is seen inside the supplier class, which has the supplier ID and the supplier name. Um, interacts with other microservices using the supplier service client and the supplier controller, and the supplier service classes facilitates the retrieval of their supplier details. So these microservices interact using Things client, which abstracts the complexities of HTTP requests and responses. Thing client defines the interfaces mirroring the endpoints of the other microservices being used, such as inventory, the supplier, and the order microservice that I've created, allowing for seamless communication between them. For instance, where when methods is invoked, one of the microservices corresponded to their Things client, translated into a HTTP request to the targeted microservice, whether it be the supplier, the order, or the inventory, making the interaction appear as a local method call. In order for all these microservices to connect, I use Talent API to show the communication between these microservices. So within the Java microservices, the inventory, the order, and the supplier, I use tools like REST templates or the Frank clients to talk within the Talent API. With these tools, the microservices could ask the Talent API to do specific things with the data, like saving, getting, and updating or deleting. In that way, the microservice could get the Talent system to do all the hard work, basically. So each microservice that I use, they would basically ask for something to get like an answer back. So over here in the order controller, I have the HTTP request, so it's basically order slash create, and this is going to request for order. And once the order is created successfully, it will return a message down below. So each microservice knows how to talk to the Talend API. They will ask for something to get like an answer back, and then they answer it in their own work. This has made everything run smoothly between the microservices and the Talend system. And also, making sure that the microservices could talk well with the Talent API was really important. This ensured that they could share data smoothly and work together properly. It helped the microservices to use Talent's special ability to do more and with the data they handled. Each microservice has a specific endpoint and corresponding to the JSON body when communicating with the Tand API. And these requests response allow the microservice to interact with the Tand system effectively for various operations like fetching the data, creating orders, or retrieving the supplier details. So for the inventory, what it should return is the inventory item and the JSON object. So inside my Talent API, I'm using it for the inventory. So it is going to return back the inventory item as JSON. So I have my order ID initialized, my product ID, the quantity of how much of the product is, and the customer ID here. So once I press send, it should return the inventory item as a JSON. And the same for the orders. So what should happen is using the post method, I'm going to request to create a new order. And over here, seeing I'm using the order ID, the product ID, the quantity, and the customer ID. So once I press send, it will return back the details in JSON format.